wanted to go a little deeper into grief. I know that I've talked about it before, but because I've had near death experiences and I know what that's like, how do I say this? Having near death experiences, when you come out of it, you experience life in a whole different way. And it's easy to snap back like a rubber band sometimes because we're in a human body and we're conditioned to do that. But coming out of I had 3 near death experiences. The one that I was gone the longest, which was when I had bacterial meningitis and I was in a coma for 9 days. When I came out of that one, I remember the very first thing that happened to me was disbelief, obviously, because I had little children. So it was really hard for me to fathom what that was like if I wouldn't have been there. Like if they would have had been raised by someone else or my husband or whatever, right? So once I got over that initial shock, sadness, I guess, if you will, then it turned into I was less materialistic, more grateful, joyful of life, less fear of death because I knew that there was more, right? I took more healthy risks, I think, and probably a less fear of failing at times. Like realizing that there was so much more, so that didn't really matter. So that's really interesting, but every time we have a traumatic event or something happens in our life or someone dies, the body keeps score. And you know how we always hear that? The body keeps score. So I was sitting there thinking to myself, how did our ancestors do this? Well, like the gorillas, they stand and they beat on their chest. The Greeks did that in time of mourning, and they would wail. I think it's the Lakotas do like certain rituals. There's a lot of Native American tribes that do that. And using your body to express all emotions, which I think is very, very important. And a lot of us aren't doing that. Like we do talk therapy, right? And we talk about things, but then there's a certain point where you can't articulate the feelings that you have. So like through grief or death, I call it the animal wounded cry that I do in the shower when I've lost someone and I just can't, I've hit the wall, right? In the shower, I just hit the floor of the shower and let the water hit me and I just wail to the top of my lungs. Or you go out in the woods and you just scream to the top of your lungs. Or you pound your fists on the ground, right? We have to release it through our body by moving our body, whether it's moving our arms, dancing, chanting, humming, all the things. I mean, all of our ancestors did this. That's why Egyptians, Greeks, Native American tribes, they all danced and chanted and moved their body in a whole way. It was almost like a whole ritual, a whole releasement. So I encourage any of you that are out there that have had traumatic events or are grieving trauma or death or any of those things to use all of your senses. Use your entirety, your complete body, not just talk therapy, but get out there and move. Another way is you can use a creative way. Some people write journals. Some people paint or draw or do pottery. You might totally suck at it, but that's not the point. It's you're engaging all of your senses and both sides of your brain. So I hope this helps you.